Okay, I believe we are live today. How is everyone doing on this day? There is something that we cannot get into our YouTube studio, so unfortunately, um, the comments have to come in on my phone because there's something wrong with OBS. But I would, oh, hello, everyone is there now. Perfect. Okay, so we got comments. We are rocking and rolling. So this is just going to be a little update kind of thing of what all's been going on and kind of the future of where things are going with EPAPER. And I just realized, I think the team had put the Fujitsu Quaderno as the showpiece of today, and I just realized we can't do that because we are right in the middle of the battery video. We're right in the middle of a battery test video, so unfortunately we cannot do the Quaderno because it'll interrupt the 30 or 60 day time frame in which we use it. So that has to be in a controlled environment. But it looks like Space Viren and Simon Gordon and Cy Nurse is here. So hello, everyone. So we just wanted to go over some stuff. What is going on with all you guys? Hope everyone's well. Goody Reader's doing well. We are planning some really cool stuff coming up in the future. You'll be seeing that not too long. I think we got some stuff ready for the summertime. And yes, I got a whole bunch of devices here because I just wanted to touch base with all you guys. We're not doing too many lives anymore because they're terrible and no one watches them. And we actually lose subs over it. So on paper, it is a terrible idea to do lives. So we won't do them. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. That should be good. So EPAPER. We have seen EPAPER that has really gone above and beyond, let's move that stuff out of the way, to be as quick as possible. This is a very good example of this. So this is the Highbreak Pro. This is by Bigme. We've seen a lot of devices get so fast and so packed with specs that we kind of feel that there's not a lot of places for EPAPER left to go. So originally we saw e-readers, and then we saw e-notes, and then we got into this trend of companies like Hisense and Bigme and Onyx with this kind of fast turnover of making the Note Air, the Note Air 2, 3, the Note 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, they skipped 4. And we just felt like they're kind of cannibalizing their own units because they just want to release something new all the time. And that's how these companies make money. They don't have services because there's nothing that Bigme can sell you on, for example. It's just going to be the device itself, and that's how they make their money. So what they have to do is sell you a new product all the time. Now, we've gotten to a point where we had 2 gigs of RAM and then 4 and then 6, and now we're at 8 gigs of RAM. And, we had 64 gigs onboard storage and then 128. Now we're at 256 gigs of onboard storage. So we've seen this trend with Hisense and Bigme specifically and Onyx that they just want to keep throwing specs at it. And that's hit a little bit of a wall. Because remember, 2 years ago with the A9 Pro on the Hisense, they've already done 8 gigs RAM, 256 storage. So that's kind of, they've already reached that. So Bigme and all these other companies are catching up to that. But there's something else in the industry that we have, and we'll touch on Gallery 3 in a second, Pessy. There's something that we've seen in the industry that has been slowly making its mark, is that companies are focused on the alternatives of the screen technology themselves. So like Pessy said, Gallery 3, Spectra 6, reflective stuff, we'll get into that in a second, and the rate in which it refreshes. So we've seen companies like Bigme and Onyx and Dasung prioritize refresh and how many hertz it can refresh and godlike levels of speed over just putting out another vanilla device. Pardon me. So we have seen a lot of that occur in the past, say, 13 months. We've seen a lot of manufacturers come to the races and They want to do something different with e-paper. So a lot of the focus moving forward with e-paper is not so much this revolving door of devices that just get introduced and cannibalized and released and forgotten and then unsupported, which will still inevitably happen because a lot of these companies is the only way to make money, as we said. But what we will see is stuff like this, like Pessy said, the Gallery 3 device, which honestly isn't all that good, and we'll get into that in a second as well. Things like Gallery 3, Sharp and Pocketbook, and a couple other companies are using Spectra 6 for their devices now. So you, not for their consumer products of a user interactable device like the Remarkable, but for photo frames and digital frames and signage and stuff like that, they are using Spectra. So we've seen a shift in the industry that it's not so much about how many specs you have. In fact, a lot of companies are scaling that back in order to cut costs as well. Because, let's face it, devices have gotten pretty expensive. The Remarkable is explosively expensive. I can't believe how expensive these things are getting. $1,000+ for an ebook reader nowadays. And it's concerning that, you know, some of these top level Kindles, even top level Kindle with, you know, ads removed and, you know, Kindle packages and all that stuff, you can be looking at some serious money. So, you know, they're becoming less attainable, these units. They're becoming harder to get because they're so out of reach by a lot of people. And honestly, like, if we didn't have all these samples laying around, it would be hard to admit whether I would buy a Remarkable Paper Pro. It's just too much money. And I understand everything's too much money now. The new Sony Xperia 1 Mark 7 is like 1,500 euros or something. It's just ridiculous, man. You know how many computers you can buy with that? Now, Gallery 3, does it have... Oh, we got some comments. Thoughts on the Read Move foldable Gallery 3 device, wondering if the handle refreshes. So, getting into that, Vladimir and Pessy's comment, Gallery 3 is not good. And this isn't a dig at Remarkable. They didn't make the screen tech. We had Gallery 3 on our device. It wasn't good. Remarkable has Gallery 3 on their device. It's not very good. It's interrupting. When you do something, it takes forever. It flashes this yellow and green and blue and pink. And they even say when you start the device, pardon me, they even say, oh, there's going to be lots of flashing and stuff. And we're like, okay, I mean, that's not really an excuse. Can you handle that at the source? You know, like, we shouldn't bear the grunt of... Oh, is it not working? Oh, right. You got to charge the... See, that's another thing. You got to charge the pen. I only have 7% on there. Is this even going to charge it? That's another thing they shot themselves in the foot with, the pen situation. That was a really... There, now it's charging. So that was a really bad move. We've been in the industry for a long time. We've been since 2008. I mean, do the math on that. That's 16, 17 years. We got into e-notes back when the DPT S1 came out, the RP1. We've been around Wacom and, you know, active capacitive screens and EMR, electromagnetic resonance, and all that stuff. We've been around it for so long. The worst thing Remarkable could have done from the 2 to the 3, the Paper Pro, was to make a non-Wacom pen. That was a terrible thing they could have done. They shouldn't have done that. They should have stayed with Wacom. Going away from a Wacom pen means you go from being able to use all of these. Yes, they're not all. I have Apple Pencil and stuff. But you go away from being able to use all of these to just your pen. And as you saw right now, that wasn't planned. I know we didn't charge our device very much, but we can't even use the pen until it charges. So the Remarkable 2 truly was remarkable. To this very day, it's going to go down in history in our industry of one of the best e-paper devices ever. It's indisputable how iconic and influential it's been. And they used Wacom, which means you can use anything on it. But the Paper Pro stepped away from that, and oh man, it's shot themselves in the foot. So gallery is it's a bad technology when it comes to refresh, usability, reliability. To really trust it, it's not very good. Also, I don't want to scare anyone, but our gallery device kind of just self-destructed on itself. I think we showed you guys that. You know what? I'll step off camera for a sec and just grab it. So again, this isn't, our or Big Me's fault, but that is just naturally what happened on the device after a year. And this isn't to scare anyone saying this is going to happen on the Paper Pro. That's not what we're saying, but this did occur without any damage or impacts. There's no crack in the glass, as you can see. Let's get some light. There we go. It's a clean sheet of glass, completely glass, no pressure points or anything like that. It just kind of happened. It could have been a coincidence, of course, but we have seen a couple alternatives to EPAPER traditional that, like the DES and stuff like that, that just didn't kind of last. So, well, will the $1,000 plus Remarkable last as a Gallery 3 device? I don't know. There's not enough historical data to say anything empirically just yet. But what I do know is that this is one of the worst refreshes not only we've seen on a device of this caliber, but one of the worst refreshes to dollar ratio of all time. The dollars you must spend to get this for how it acts, it's a little bit unforgivable. And again, they have a solid marketing campaign that says, hey guys, this is new tech and this is what's going to happen. We agree that's what's going to happen. We tried it too, much before Remarkable, with our Big Me collaboration. And it wasn't good. And it's still not good. It's when we get into note taking, I'll draw in a minute here. It's not a good feel. Everything flickers and shines and just spazzes out uncontrollably. And it doesn't bode confidence that it even looks like that. And everything's very metallic looking. It's not very clear. And another thing that Remarkable did, and this is the bad one, they put this kind of sandpaper on it, which makes for a good writing experience. It genuinely does. It's very sandy. It's very high grit. But what happened was that it's such an interruptive piece of layer that the blacks are almost like dotted and gray. And you can actually see in our review video, not now, but you can see that it's not as clear as other gallery-enabled devices we've seen in the past, like the Viva, like the Goody Reader, like the Sharp 8. It just doesn't look as good because it's interrupted and obstructed by this weird, like, almost like this layer has too many peaks and valleys. So it's just got too much there that ends up breaking up the light and giving a good feel when you take notes. But it doesn't, you're not harnessing the one thing gallery can do, and that is full resolution color visuals. And honestly, this is one of our, this was supplied to us by Pocketbook, this photo. And they used it on the Viva. And it looks better on the Viva, I'll tell you that. So that is a little bit an unfortunate turn of events that, the technology they've gone with, just, it's not quite there. It really isn't. Gallery 3, the Readmoo, is what Vladimir just messaged about. Readmoo in and of itself is a big company. They're no joke. They were first to the races on a lot of things. They were the first to make the world's first color 13.3 with Linfini and Sony Semiconductors. They got there first. Granted, it was Taiwan-only device. It was Chinese language only, so you couldn't really use it too well. But they did get there first. And the foldable one is really cool because EPAPER is always foldable. When it's in an aluminum chassis with a glass screen, it becomes not foldable, of course. But the paper screen itself is really just like, it's just like this, except it's electronic. But as long as you don't do a 4-degree pinch fold like that, you're pretty good to just grab the EPD, the electronic paper display. And as long as you keep that little flex cable on the side, the actual ribbon cable, as long as you don't break that or interrupt that, you're going to be okay. You can fold it and you can roll it. They've already proven rollables for the past 4 years. I hope they release a foldable, because a foldable would mean they would be the first e-paper device ever to have a consumer available product that can fold. And that's exemplary. That'd be really cool, because as we said at the top of the hour, we're finding fewer and fewer places e-paper can go. This is a prime example, this thing right here we showed you. This has every single thing. It's got cameras, it's got gyroscope, accelerometer. This one's got IR. I mean, I'm not bashing IR, but I'm like the absurdity that it has it. I mean, there's so few use cases for IR. And you might say, no, there isn't. There's lots. Sure, but not in the e-paper world. We barely saw cameras on devices since just a few years ago, except for the pocketbook one that was a one-off. But now we got cameras with flash packages, camera bumps, dual speakers, dual SIM plus SD. We have Google Play. We have just fingerprint unlock, biometric face unlock, double tap side to turn pages. I mean, where else can they go except things like we said, Spectra and Gallery, and like Vlad said, rollable and foldable and high refresh like Dasung, because that is where we are seeing the industry go. And everything is bigger, 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 bigger. Everyone's going bigger screens, bigger everything. Remarkable, bigger. Amazon, 75% of the Amazon devices now are bigger than 6 inches. Their 6-inch device only represents 1/4 of all of their devices now. Everything is, the past gen was 6.8, now it's 7, now it's 10.2. Everything is bigger and badder and better. And yeah, actually, this is a good example of putting these side by side. This is Kaleido and this is Gallery. So although Gallery has a higher resolution, I feel that this is a better overall appearance, because this is so faded and fuzzy because of that layer. If they really did just get rid of that top coat layer, things would be a lot smoother in the world. Actually, you know what? I think we have this photo on here, perhaps. We actually might. We have a control PDF package of the things that we kind of use for testing across multiple devices as a means to keep it fair. And I think we actually might have, I think it's called like color test PDF or something like that. It might be on here. I got the... And you know what? Here, follow along, guys. So it's called Color Test PDF. And you know what? I think I might even be able to search. Oh, there it is. Color Pick Test. Boom. So look at that. Oh, you know what? Fair. Oh, actually, is this? Yeah, this has glow light now. Is the glow light off? How do you get the glow light on? Oh, yeah, it is off. That's it. I thought that was the degree of how airplane mode you wanted your device. I'm like, okay, we're 0 airplane mode. Okay, let's turn the brightness off, warmth off, and let's just look at these side by side for a second. Yeah, this is so slow. I'm not even, we're not even leaning towards anything else being anything but what it is. But those blacks look richer, and these look more purple, because they just, you see, the colors are different. They have a bigger spectrum of colors on here. For example, see that red/pink? It's supposed to be that. This one dilutes itself a little bit. But honestly, like, Remarkable had all the resources and funding and potential and infrastructure to make Gallery 3 fully harnessable and fully usable, but they missed it. I mean, look at this photo next to each other. I don't feel that this is $1,000. I don't feel that this is worlds above what this is. And I really would like to see maybe a Kaleido version of a Remarkable, but they're not going to do it because they don't do multiple units like that. They have a 4 to 5 year turnaround. So The likelihood of them putting an intermediary device out to kind of bridge the gap is almost non-existent. So, and unfortunately, that was the in terms of Gallery 3. And this isn't a bash at Remarkable. Again, we're only showing the Remarkables because it's the only device with Gallery 3 right now. There's no other device consumer available other than stuff on our wall right there and like other stuff in the office. There's nothing else with Gallery that you can buy with your credit card and get in the mail. There's nothing. So you'd have to go to a trade show or get like sampler packs or stuff like that. So I hope it works now. It does. Okay. The problem is that we have to show Remarkable because it's the only guy that has Gallery. So it has to take the grunt of all of our criticism because it's the one that has it. So if you get paintbrush and like yellow or cyan and you get a pen, I mean, that's just, it's bad. That whole line wasn't even cyan until it finished. And I don't want 3 seconds to go by for my line to finish. I'm not saying I'm doing blueprint drafting and stuff like that, but seconds for a line is too long. The purpose of having the analog pen and get it digitized into digital is so that it's in an instant form. For it to take that long, I might as well do it on paper and scan it. I mean, you're losing the whole reason behind being digital for the instant gratification of drawing a line. Look at that. It's black and orange. There's this weird thing following me and it needs to phase out and refresh to just show me what I drew. And it's too long. And you might say that's not that long. And I agree, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. But it's not the point because 99% of other devices can do it instantly. But with this, I have to go, okay, I'm drawing. Wait, what color did I choose? Oh, yeah, right. And then that's not even the final result. That is. So you can even see the time. Watch. Count. That's about 2.5 seconds for that to show up. And I don't think that's fair for us to bear that as after having spent $1,000 on it. So I hope with the next Gallery device, which I believe it will be Readmoo, they have given a lot of signs, at least within the internal conversations of all the people, that they will be potentially making Gallery with or without, or inside or outside of that rollable / foldable. We have Lecturas AE readers. Oh, cool. I can't stop thinking that Amazon has to invest in Gallery or Spectra. I feel that Amazon is not improving with its devices. Amazon is pardon me, we can do a whole thing on Amazon, man. Gallery 3 is heavily invested in. Gallery 3, just with EINK, has had over $100 million of U.S. investment. And if you don't know what that number looks like, that's 100. That's USD. That's $100 million invested in this tech. And only oh, that's a cool pencil. They got really good pencils on here. One company does it. Remarkable. There was another company who was us, Goody Reader, and Big Me. There was another one, which was Sharp 8, never came out. Goody Reader's dead. And we had the pocketbook Viva, dead. It's the only one. So when we give our criticism on the Remarkable Paper Pro, it is not a dig at Remarkable. The company itself is quite successful and very nice. But the screen they've chosen, that's the game you're playing because you're the guys using Remarkable. You're the guys using Gallery. I got to talk about it. So Amazon's never going to do Gallery or Spectra. Spectra can't be harnessed with. Spectra can't be distributed amongst the masses because it has a, I don't know, like 12-second refresh, because that's not what it's for. It is for signage. It's for having something that looks almost like photo paper, 32 inches big outside your store, and you say, you know what, I want to change it. Boop, and you change it. A lot of Spectra devices don't even have batteries. We just went to a trade show. You can check out our YouTube channel. We went to EDX Tokyo, and the Sharp stuff, none of them have any batteries. I think one of them did, but just for testing. So what it is Spectra stays like this forever. All e-paper does. But what they would do is pretend this is a huge sign, and you're like, oh, I want to change it. It doesn't have any batteries. So you would hook it up to a cable or to your PC, change it. You go do, I want to change it. And then the image changes. Then you unplug the thing, and now you put it on your little stand. That's the purpose of Spectra. But this part in which you update it takes, 12, 13 seconds. Actually, you know what? We can show you. We can show you right here because as I said, we did just go to a trade show, and there it is right there. Let's open it up for you guys. So you can see right here, we covered the Spectra 6 color e-paper key cards. And you see the guy right there, but then we have a nice lady up top here. And we scanned down there a video, we scanned on an NFC, and it updated to the lady. There she is. So with that comes a huge refresh issue. Now the card itself looked good after we refreshed it, and you can move that around now because I say, oh, this is my key card, and I can change it later if I need an update or something like that. But it takes a long time, and already we've seen Gallery 3 compared to Kaleido take a very long time to do anything. Kaleido is so snappy. It's just bing, bang, boom. And this doesn't even have a speed mode. And Gallery is a drag. Look how bad that is. It feels like this. You know what this feels like in the nicest way possible? Oh, echo? Yeah. There was an echo on the screen share. We won't be doing that one again. It feels like it's still a prototype. The Gallery 3 just feels like it is a prototype, and unfortunately, I don't feel that it's ready. I kind of feel that, Remarkable should have took a little bit more time and just done something else, because the success of Kaleido is unparalleled. Everyone's using it. And you can't dispute that because everyone's using it. Echo and Lecture SE Reader says I actually use a Books Tab Mini C. That's a good one. The Books Tab Mini C is a really good one. Ultra C Pro is insanity. But that is another representation of the pinnacle of e-paper applications on a regular tablet, because where else can we go with that? Now, the last thing I want to touch on is RLCD. Where am I? There I am. So RLCD, I don't have one. Hold on. There it is. So this is the last thing we want to touch on right here, and this is the Hanspree. RLCD, you might think has nothing to do with e-paper, but in a way it does, because it's somewhat, I wouldn't say threatens e-paper, but it kind of threatens e-paper. RLCD has the battery benefits of e-paper style devices because it uses significantly less battery. RLCD in and of itself does not have a backlight. I think this is a test unit, but RLCD itself does not have a backlight. TLCD does, which actually Ezai has been doing a very good job at TLCD lately. They've been doing some good stuff. I'll have to show you that in a second. But RLCD is to the point that it uses ambient light. Now, the problem with that is that if you tilt it down, I didn't do anything to the screen. I didn't turn it off. See that? I can see it, and now I can't. I can see it, and now I can't. If you don't look at this thing just right there, it goes away. Goes away. There it is. goes away. So RLCD and TLCD, there's been a lot of companies doing it. Daylight's doing it. EINK's doing it. Hanspree's doing it. They have a color RLCD. Garmin is doing other forms of MIP, which is memory in pixel, which means once a LCD pixel is generated, it no longer utilizes battery until it changes state. But things like EPAPER are now seeing true competition from another industry that almost directly affects it. LCD doesn't really affect EPAPER because they've both lived kind of harmoniously. LCD uses a lot of batteries and it has eye strain and stuff like that. Not RLCD. RLCD uses very little battery. RLCD causes very little eye strain. We're starting to see some comparables. We're starting to see some metrics that mix together. What is that? What does RLCD sound like? TLCD has a backlight and it's kind of creeping up on EPAPER. So we're going to see some stuff coming from that in the future because there are a ton of companies, big and small, like Daylight, like Hanspree, that are investing and releasing RLCD, TLCD solution devices that kind of stepping on EPAPER's toes. EPAPER's not going anywhere. They're freaking everywhere, EPAPER. But that is it. Just wanted to check in with you guys, pop in real quick because we haven't done a live in a while. We won't do a live for a while. There's just no demand for it. It's just something we do to mix up and get back to you guys. But no, there's no demand for our lives anymore. None of you guys care about, line up at the doors for the showcases and stuff like that. So there is a lot more value in it that we construct a review properly and put forward the information that way. But if enough of you guys say you want a live, we might do one, perhaps one a month, but we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We've got a lot on the go. There's tons of units coming out from Onyx. There's Big Me stuff. Man, there's a couple Big Me things. Yeah. There's Readmoo. Hi Read has a new device. Readmoo has... What does Readmoo have other than the foldable? I thought they had something. Oh, iReader's releasing something on the 20th. Yeah, iReader's going to be releasing something. Don't know what it is yet. EINK has something in the works. There's tons of stuff going on. It's never stopping. As much as I say, there's nowhere else for EPAPER to go, that's just talk because, it's discussionary topics because I believe EPAPER is... It's just what do you call it? What did Thanos say? I am inevitable or I am eternal? I don't know, whatever. EPAPER is never going to go anywhere. If you go to a supermarket or electronics store and you see those little tags that are below the price tags, that's EPAPER. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for stopping by. We don't have any more comments. Cool. That is everything. And, oh, look at that. Is that a Big Me? Is that an ad for Big Me? I thought it was an ad. Because they have to... No, it's not. It's another monitor. Yeah, Big Me's got a monitor, and Onyx has a color monitor, right? Yeah. So lots of stuff. Keep tuning in for more information on goodyreader.com, and that is it. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my coffee, and you guys have a good day.